welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man that is about to crank it all the way up. It's Adam Hodgins.
I crank everything up, whether it's my radio or my speedometer or the spices when I cook, Mark. I crank it up all the time.
Yeah, I remember when I asked you one time to bring me a coffee with a little bit of cream, and you just gave me a cup of cream. And you're like, you're like, I never do a little bit.
Yeah. I said, I think what I said to you is, Mark, if you're going to do it all the way. And then I shook my head and walked away from you.
Yeah, and I just had a warm glass of milk. I don't know why it was warm.
No, well, the guys at Tim Hortons here in Canada, they'll do whatever you want.
Are they going to bring back those bread loaves that you want?
Oh, man, the cherry stick and the walnut crunch. Anybody who's listening to this, if you're in Canada, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're not, if you're in another country other than Canada, you probably don't know. But Tim Hortons used to do, like, bake their donuts in the store. And when they did that, they made these, they were almost like little cakes. They were called a cherry stick and then a walnut crunch. The walnut crunch was chocolate with walnuts in it. And the cherry stick was just like cherry cake. And then they just stopped making them. And now they have frozen donuts come in and they warm them up. And it's not the same. And I'm disappointed all the way around.
I've never heard you say anything negative. And I remember just writing, hey, I never say anything negative, but I really miss these things.
I do. They were the greatest things ever.
So I have one issue with this 40-second trailer for Fast 9. I just that aired during the Super Bowl because this is the Fast and Furious 9 Super Bowl trailer talk episode that we're doing. So the movie is supposedly releasing in May 28th. I don't know if that's going to happen, but
I don't know. We'll see.
There's a scene in this where Dom, played by Vin Diesel, says, "Crank it all the way up."
Crank it all the way up.
And I'm thinking to myself, these people are always cranking it up. So, okay, you and I are part of Dom's crew, Adam.
Yep.
We're fighting Cypher. She has zombie cars after us, and we're driving. We're driving fast. And then Dom goes, "Crank it all the way up." You're like, I am cranked up. I'm being chased by zombie cars. Like, what else can I crank? Is he talking Nas? Because I would be using that. Like, what's in a world where it's always cranked up? How do you crank it up more? Is he talking to Jason Statham from Crank, Chev Chelios?
Oh, can you imagine?
And
can
Adam,
you imagine?
I just want to apologize because I ask you a question, then I ask you another question, then I ask you another question, and then you try to answer them all, and then I ask you another question. So you have about six to answer.
Never apologize, Mark. That is one of the reasons this is one of my favorite friendships. I want to say this. I think if I was in Dom, because Dom always stacks the deck for Dom. And he always comes out of any situation squeaky clean and, like, smirking, right? Even when Brian finally wins a race, Dom's the guy smirking. That's kind of the relationship that Dom has with the world. And so if we're driving down the road and we're pulling cars into trucks and we're jumping with motorcycles and we're doing all the things, we're pulling a safe across a bridge as we're jumping over a train. All the things are happening, and then Dom says, "Let's crank it up." And then I hit the NOS, or I hit the gas, or engage the supercharger of whatever it is, and things don't go right. I know that Dom's going to look at me, smirk, and say, "Still just a buster."
Yeah.
So I don't think I could handle the stress of being in his crew.
No, you're right. Because, all right, so remember in The Fate of the Furious?
Yeah.
Now, granted, Roman picked a terrible car to drive on ice. However, I don't think they would have predicted that they would drive across an ice lake being chased by a nuclear submarine. So
no, that's not a top 10 situations that will happen moment.
So I get it. I get why he picked the car. He likes the showiness of it. But he gets dragged on a door. He kills snowmobilists. He's getting blown up. He's getting missiles shot at him. It's just, you're right. That's a stressful boss. So you're thinking to yourself, I am cranking it up. I just shot a car through a liquor store and into a van. Like, I've cranked it all the way up. This is cranked. And he's like, crank it up. I don't got any more cranking.
No, this is where we go, Dom. This is it. 9 movies in, we've done all we can do.
Dom, I have fallen out of an airplane with a parachute and wait, no, you were the bad guy in Fate of the Furious. I chased you with zombie cars. Like, I crank it. It's just, you're right. It would be stressful because you're like, what else is there to crank?
Right.
It's like you and I are full sprint, right? You and I are chasing Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. And Mads Mikkelsen.
You know me. I don't do anything half. You heard about the cream situation.
Yep.
I don't do anything a little bit, but Dom goes too much.
You're right. It's just you and I are full sprint after Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible. And Mads Mikkelsen goes speed it up. And you're just thinking to yourself, I've been sprinting for 2 straight minutes. I will clear a 4-minute mile if I keep this up, and I won't. So how can I speed it up? Maybe I should have slowed it down so I could have run longer.
Yeah, I don't know. It's but again, you don't want to not listen to Dom because then he's going to hit you with a wrench.
Yeah, you're right. You don't want to wrench fight Dom.
No. To be fair, I don't want to wrench fight anybody, but if I had to, it would not be Dom.
Man, that seems okay. Man, I feel like I could get away from a bat fight easier than a wrench fight. It's just all right. And then okay, did you like the Return of the Jedi gag in this trailer?
So I have some things to say about the trailer, Mark, but I didn't hate it.
Is it a trailer or is it a commercial? A spot. It's a spot.
A spot. The Super Bowl spot. I have some things to say about the Super Bowl spot. I didn't anything that's a Star Wars reference. I don't mind. I'm just that goofy guy. I'm okay with that. I actually just got the okay from some people at my church for our summer program to build a full-size X-wing and put it on our church's front lawn.
Yes.
So that's gonna happen. So a Return of the Jedi moment is okay for me. That didn't stick out as much as a few things I'd like to talk about. Can I just throw some stuff at you, get your opinion, see if I'm reading this wrong? Because again, this trailer is so fast and so furious. Things are just coming at you. It's hard to digest everything that's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk about Vin Diesel's face the first time we see it.
Yeah.
Did it look like Professor X de-aging was going on in that moment?
Oh, I don't want to. So I know he suffered a head injury during the shoot.
Oh.
So I don't want to go too far into that because I know he got injured. He got a head injury.
Okay, I didn't know that, so I'm going to scratch Vin's face off of my list of things to talk about.
Yeah.
Because again, it was very jarring. But if they were covering up an injury, then I'm okay with it. I'm not gonna talk about how it seems like an easy pickup shoot to make, that one little shot of him standing there, but I won't press any further.
I did notice that though, but I just don't want to. I don't want to look into it. Does that make sense?
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, Mark, for a split second in a transition scene, there's a NASCAR race.
Yes. I mean,
what's your NASCAR stipulation? What do you think is happening? How does NASCAR tie into this? This is going to be our bet for the movie. I want you to tell me how you think NASCAR plays into this movie here.
Okay, so I think they're building up their crew.
Yep.
And I heard, according to IMDb, that Finn Jones was cast in this role. And so Finn Cole, my apologies, Finn Cole, who is from the Fast and Furious, he's from Peaky Blinders, Animal Kingdom, another surfing show. So maybe he's a NASCAR driver?
Okay.
In this? Does that make sense? So maybe Finn Cole is a NASCAR driver, or maybe Jacob with a K, Toretto, is a NASCAR driver, or maybe Cypher has started a NASCAR career. But I think it's just one of these people. Or, I mean, maybe Lucas Black, Sean Boswell, and his crew, Earl and all those guys, they are tired of drifting, so now they're going in circles in NASCAR.
Oh. Okay, so here's my bold prediction.
Ooh.
Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Because if we know anything about the Fast and the Furious movies, they love to bring back bit characters and then make them amazing.
Yes.
Can we agree with that?
Absolutely.
All right, that's kind of their bit. So I think that my man Sean Boswell, who I'm stoked is in this movie, like that to me is the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
He comes back and he's in the crew because they're doing the magnet car race, which is going to be a big thing, I'm assuming, because there's so many guys driving magnet cars.
There's a bunch of magnet gags in this movie coming up, isn't there?
Yeah, and the magnets look like the the power source for the Rebel base on Hoth.
Yes, they do. Maybe that's what
So
those were for. They just suck AT-ATs into them.
Right. So there's another Star Wars reference for you.
Yeah.
So anyways, Sean comes back and, you know, they're having a garage oriented crew meeting, which they always do. But even though they have everybody and their mother there, they're one man short. They don't know, they can't pull it off except they're one guy short. And so then people are like, well, Mia, why don't you just go get your husband to come help us out? And she would look into the camera and go, we can't ask Brian to do that. That would be wrong. So they quickly skate away from that. And then Sean says, I know a guy. I know a guy.
Yeah.
And they go to the NASCAR race, and Clay helps the crew.
Clay?
Clay.
Wow. You think he'll come back?
Well, I think anybody who drives a Dodge Viper through a construction area on a high school thing, they're going to be a NASCAR driver.
And he doesn't like wrench fighting, so he's smart.
He's smart. So I think he's going to say, I know a guy, and then all of a sudden, boom, Clay is going to be in the crew, and that's going to be a plot twist.
So Home Improvement's going to be in Fast and Furious now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. How cool would that be?
Can you imagine that? Just like, no problem, I got your back. And then he drives his NASCAR, like his actual NASCAR on the last job.
Oh my gosh. That'd be amazing. And then they make a car that can't be pulled by magnets.
Right, because it's all fiberglass.
Oh. Yeah, I like it. And then, Days of Thunder, you could do rubbing and bumping on the road.
Oh, imagine they split. Oh my goodness, hold on a second. So Clay comes back as a NASCAR race. Okay, they've already split off Hobbs and Shaw, so this is a bunny trailing franchise. If they split off Clay into Fast and the Furious presents Days of Thunder 2.
Whoa. And so he goes undercover to crack a NASCAR drug ring. Right,
but because he's not successful, like he'll be a non-successful NASCAR racer in Fast and the Furious, he's got to go and get Cole Trickle to train him to be a NASCAR racer. And so they bring Tom Cruise into the fold.
Jeez Louise.
That is money in the bank, sir.
Oh, gosh. Do you think Tom Cruise would play a mentor right now?
I think so. He played an agent in Tropic Thunder, so I don't think he's above that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I guess he was kind of a mentor in Mission Impossible 3, but that didn't do too well.
But then they can bring Rowdy Burns back, too.
Oh, my gosh. And Michael Rooker, who's in this movie. Michael Rooker was in Days of Thunder. Right. And he's in this movie as Buddy.
Right.
Oh, my gosh. There it is. Fast and Furious presents Days of Thunder 2. More
Someone
thunder.
Who knows someone has got to be listening to this right now thinking, okay, I'm going to make a phone call.
Yep. I mean, we're going to be the associate producers. That's for sure. On this movie. Okay. So, now, I don't think it's Han. Mark, right? Han won't be a NASCAR driver because Dom and them would know. Maybe if they're sitting at a bar and they see Han jumping out of a car, that would really weird everyone out. So it can't, I mean, by deductive reasoning, it can't be Han.
Agree.
Okay. Got it.
What do you think about it? Because my money is on Clay. I want to say Clay, but if that's not the thing, what if Brian O'Connor has become a NASCAR driver and so they're watching him race from afar?
But see, he got out of the business to be safe, right? So maybe going into NASCAR at a late age isn't the best idea.
No, but he's got to drive.
Yeah.
Right? So he says, Mia, I got to drive.
I really don't want any